Good morning, children. Today we shall learn about petroleum. As we have already completed, children, coal, this is another fossil fuel which are going to be discussed. What is petroleum? Petroleum is a dark colored, thick crude oil found deep below the ground in certain areas. It is also called crude oil. It is always found trapped between two impervious rocks, means non-porous rocks. Its name is derived from actually Latin word petra meaning rock and oleum meaning oil. Thus petroleum literally means rock oil. Crude oil or petroleum is a complex mixture of solid, liquid, and gaseous hydrocarbons mixed with salt water and earthy particles. Children, it is believed that petroleum is formed by the anaerobic decomposition. What is the meaning of anaerobic? Means in the absence of oxygen of extremely small sea animals and plants which got buried millions of years ago. Let us explain how did this happen. Millions of years ago, very large number of microscopic plants and animals lived in sea. What happened? They died because of some calamity and their bodies sank to the bottom of sea. So, petroleum was formed by the decomposition of remains of tiny plants and animals buried under the sea millions of years ago. It is believed that millions of years ago, the tiny plants and animals which lived in the sea died and their bodies sank to the bottom of the sea, were soon covered with mud and sand. Due to high pressure and heat, action of anaerobic bacteria in the absence of air, the dead remains of tiny plants and animals were slowly converted into petroleum. The petroleum thus formed got trapped between two layers of impervious rocks, that is, non porous rocks, forming an oil deposit. Petroleum occurs at moderate depths, children, that is 500 meter to 2000 meter between two layers of impervious rocks. The petroleum deposits are usually found mixed with salt water. Petroleum is lighter than salt water, hence float on it. Petroleum does not occur in all the places of earth. It is found in only certain areas of the earth. Natural gas occurs above the petroleum oil trapped under the rocks. Now, extraction of petroleum. Petroleum is extracted by drilling holes in the earth crust where the presence of oil has been predicted by survey. The oil wells are drilled by using drilling rigs. Drilling rigs is a large structure with equipment for drilling through the rocks. Natural gas comes out first with a great pressure, and for a time the crude petroleum oil comes out by itself due to gas pressure. After the gas pressure has subsided, petroleum is pumped out of the oil well. Some wells dug into the earth yield both petroleum as well as natural gas, but some only yields what? Natural gas, but no oil. Early drilling of oil wells for getting petroleum was done only on land. Later on, oil wells were also drilled under the seabed by using new techniques. Thus, some of the oil wells are now drilled under the sea for the extraction of petroleum. So, the process of separating crude petroleum oil into more useful fractions is called what? Refining. The refining of petroleum or separation of petroleum into different fractions is based on the fact that different fractions of petroleum have different boiling point ranges. The refining of petroleum is carried out in an oil refinery, children. The crude petroleum oil extracted from oil wells is taken to the oil refinery through pipes. In the oil refinery, crude petroleum oil is refined or separated into different useful fractions. So, the separation of petroleum into different fractions is done by the process of fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is a process in which fractions of petroleum having different boiling point ranges are collected separately. So, the useful fractions which are obtained by the refining of petroleum are petroleum gas, petrol, kerosene, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin, wax, and bitumen. Natural gas consists mainly of methane with small quantities of ethane and propane. In fact, natural gas contains about 95% of methane. Natural gas occurs deep under the crust of earth either along with or alone above the petroleum deposits. Some wells dug into the earth produce only natural gas, whereas others produce natural gas as well as petroleum oil. Natural gas is formed under the earth by the decomposition of vegetable matter lying under water. This decomposition is carried out with the help of anaerobic bacteria in the absence of air, just like as we have seen in the case of coal and petroleum. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas. It becomes easier to store, transport, and use natural gas in the form of CNG. Natural gas is called clean fuel because it burns without producing any smoke and does not cause air pollution. Natural gas is a good fuel because it burns easily and produces a lot of heat. Moreover, natural gas burns with a smokeless flame and causes no air pollution. Natural gas is a complete fuel in itself and can be used directly for heating purposes in homes as well as in industry. There is no need to add anything else to it. A great advantage of natural gas is that it can be supplied to homes and factories through a network of underground pipes, and this eliminates the need for additional storage and transport. Such a network of pipelines for the supply of natural gas exists in Vadodara, in Gujarat, and some parts of Delhi and in other places. As we have learned, children, that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. It required that dead organisms millions of years to get converted into these fuels. On the other hand, the known reserves of these will last only a few hundred years. Moreover, burning of these fuels is a major cause of air pollution that we have also seen. Their use is also linked to global warming. So, it is necessary that we use these fuels only when absolutely necessary. This will result in better environment, a smaller risk of global warming, and their availability for a longer period of time. PCRA advises people how to save petrol or diesel while driving. Some tips are: number one, Drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. Number 2, switch off the engine at a traffic lights or at a place where you have to wait. Number 3, ensure correct tire pressure. And the last is ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle. That's all for today's video, children. Thank you and have a wonderful day.